Hello, Top Fan Rivalry friends. It's your boy Bill. It's Scott. If you're watching this on YouTube, you know. If you're listening to this on Bleacher Brothers Sports Network, you don't know. You
That's
don't
right.
know that we have faces for radio. That's right. That's all I'm going to say, Scott. There you go. Scott's making the LA sign with
Trying to
his
do it.
hand.
I we did it the wrong hands the first time. Trying to
Yeah,
remember.
you know what?
Sorry.
It happens. It
Sorry. Only a
happens.
half game back in the NL West, so I'm
Listen, half game back, we're going to
going
be
to be a half game
discussing
up.
this.
We're going to be a half game up after tonight. Go
Well, the
Tigers!
Dodgers.
Go Tigers! Go Dodgers!
Seeing that the Dodgers have the day off, it's gonna be a half game. It's gonna be hard to be a half game up, but they could be even.
Yeah. No,
They
the
could be
Dodgers are going
even.
to win that elusive off day game. Win
Yeah.
today. So
Yes. Yes. Scott,
yeah,
how you been, man? It's
I'm
every other
good.
week with the Dodgers update. How you been?
I'm good. It's spring is here. I'm golfing a lot. Um, I can't complain.
I need to get better at my golf game. I need to buy myself a set of
I
clubs and start working on it.
My brother bought me lessons. It was 3 years ago now. He was in summer of 22. Might have been summer of 21. I don't remember. One of those two. I think it was 22. He bought me a series of lessons with the guy, and it made a huge difference. And I was so resistant. I'd taken lessons when I was a little kid, and then I'd never taken lessons again. I was literally probably younger than 12 the last time I'd had anyone really give me a lesson. And
Yeah.
so it was a good experience and made it more fun. So I'm still not great, but I'm a little better and a little more consistent, and that makes it a little more fun.
Not great.
But yeah, it's good. It's spring, sun shining, warm. The weather's warming up here in Utah. Um, we were down in California, got to see you a couple weeks ago. Uh,
Sure.
you and Amber, that was amazing. Bonnie has, I think, said every day since then how much fun she had and can't wait to see you guys again. So
We
um,
look forward to it.
we
And
loved
the
it
Beach
too.
Pit
So,
apparently was a hit, right?
oh man, this is not a paid sponsor, but if you are looking for some good local barbecue, we knew it was good when we pulled in because we could smell it before we even got in the parking lot. So, yeah, Beach Pit. It's in
Costa
technically
Mesa.
Newport Beach, Costa Mesa, right on that,
Right on that border.
right on
Yeah.
that border. Who knows where you really are in that area, but it's fantastic.
Yeah. It was good
Go,
stuff, man. Good stuff.
go.
So Um, okay, Scott. Uh, you're welcome, by the way, Beach Pit Barbecue for that sponsor or that
Yeah, we'll
shout
be
out.
up
You
later,
know,
maybe.
we'll reach out to you about a sponsorship. All right, here we go. Dodgers are a half game out of first place, like you mentioned. Let's talk home cooking. Dodgers are 10-2 at home. They're 6 and
Yep.
5 on the road. Talk to me about that.
So 10-2, it's what you hope to be. You hope home cooking's there. You're not going to win them all. It's just there's too many games to win them all in baseball, and it's baseball. So, but 10-2 at home, that's where you want to be after 12 games. It's why they're where they're at in the standings because they're
Mhm.
holding court at home, which is good. Road woes a little, like I guess you could call them. I don't know if woes is the right word. I that's what I wrote down, but 6 and 5, you're scuffling at 500 on the road. Got to do a little better than that. Um, it's weird because even at 7-4, that feels so much better than 6 and 5 on the road. I don't know, a 3 game difference instead of a one. It just feels a lot better. So hopefully they can right that ship a little bit. Hopefully tomorrow night in Chicago, Dustin May's going to be on the bump, and hopefully we can start turning our fortunes on the road a little bit. Otani will be back in the lineup again. Um, by the way, side note on that, congrats to he and his wife on their new baby. That's awesome.
That is
Um,
amazing.
we'll
Yes.
keep bringing more children into this world. We need good valiant children. So bring
We
them into
need
this world.
good Otanis.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yes.
that's a kid destined to be probably at least try to be an athlete.
Yeah.
With He
100%.
there with those parents.
100%.
But no,
With that
it's
pedigree.
congrats to him. It'll be good to have him back in and by the way, I am the exact I think that giving guys their paternity leave for that is 100% appropriate. And go be with your wife, go be with your child for a few days. We'll scuffle along for a couple games without you, but look, we did okay,
One
within
thousand
that.
percent. 1,000%. I
Go do it.
completely agree with you on that. We definitely, yeah, you
Happy
definitely want
teams do that.
that. aspect of it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm happy
So,
to see teams embrace the family side of things. It's one of the reasons I love watching golf too, the way they embrace the families. And I just congrats to Otani. Welcome to the Dodger family, little Otani. I don't know what his name is yet, so, but welcome to the family and welcome back to the lineup. We're gonna need you here as we start this little road trip here.
so it's funny that you say 7-4 versus 6-5. We did give up a win on a walk off by
Mhm.
Garcia. Wish that we would have gotten that win. I thought we had it,
Yep, I did too.
uh, but it happens, right?
Yep, it does. And that was one of those situations where what's his name? just scared it out of myself. That was closing it for the Dodgers.
Oh,
He was
Kirby
on the
Yates.
Rangers last year, so that was like
Yeah.
there was extra oomph and incentive on the Rangers side with that happening in the end of the game.
Yes, so there
Propelled them, and
was.
then
Yes, there was. And that I was thinking the same thing too. And honestly, I had a discuss. Did you watch that game, by the way? Did you see that game?
I saw the last three innings. I was
Okay.
doing something else, but I
So
the last three innings.
so Garcia has two very, very quality at bats to the point of I thought he was going to hit one out.
Yeah.
I felt like he was. I was texting with somebody, and literally before I could hit send, he hit the ball. But I
Ugh.
first runner on first, nobody out. I'm setting up the double. I mean, runner on second with that double. I'm setting up the double play. I'm
I am
walking.
too. You know what's funny, Bill? I thought the exact same thing when he came to the plate with first base open. I'm like, why are you even pitching to this guy? Put him on
Right.
base, put the double play in place, and go get the next guy. I
Right.
I, I didn't understand that. That was a weird. That's one of those examples I think, like we've talked about throughout the season so far and spring training, that fits in with the we got to play more small ball. We got to play more traditional old school baseball, and that's one of those times that you do when
Yeah. No,
guys
no.
had, like you said, he had quality at bats. He's a dangerous bat just in general anyway. I mean, he's batting fourth in their lineup for a reason. And so put him on first, get the double play in place, and make someone else beat you.
Yeah. 100. And I thought, okay, we're set up the double play. And I get the fact that you're putting the winning run on first base,
Right.
but it's the Rangers. They're number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're not a huge threat,
Right.
right? And so I'm not that worried about it, but what do I know?
Yeah. And again, it's that dichotomy too. It's one game, but it's one game.
Mhm.
And the good thing is, I'll stick with my golf comparisons, but the good things is it's like after they lose, it's after a bogey, the next hole they went and got a win. So they went and got their birdie, they went and won,
Mhm.
righted the ship, bumped it up to 6-5 on the road. Like I said, I'm hoping we can beat the Cubs for these two games in Chicago, and um, technically finish our 4-game series with at the Cubs from our 2 game Japan. But hope
Yeah.
can do that. Get to 8-5 on the road. Hopefully, we can get some love from the Detroit Tigers this next couple of days, beating the Padres
Yeah.
and in Detroit, and put the Dodgers back in first. But we're coming home for a stretch after these 2 games at the Cubs. We got Pirates at home, Marlins at home. Um, I mean, look, out of those 6 games, I see us probably being at worst 4-2, probably 5-1.
Yeah.
May
Yeah.
part of that depends on who pitches for the Pirates against the Dodgers. They got to face
Risky.
They got to face Paul Skeens. That's a tougher one, but you never know. I mean, just
Even
because
if
it's Paul
Skeens
Skeens
does
doesn't mean
pitch.
he brings Paul Skeens stuff every game. So,
Yeah. I mean, I'm a fan of Paul Skeens, but even if he does pitch, let's see what we can do against him, right?
oh, for sure. And I will say this: I have Max Muncy's looking a little more comfortable at the plate the last few games, even in the losses. So he's having better at bats. He's seeing the ball better. You can tell. Um, we're on the right. Dodgers are on the right track. We're where I would want to be right now. If you told us we'd be 3 weeks into the season, basically we'd be a half game out of first in the NL
Well,
West.
with only 7 losses, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Why are we complaining
Part of
about
it is
that?
Padres are on fire too. So
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
playing great baseball right now too. And the NL West, go look at the standings. The NL West is going to be tough all year. We knew it going in. We knew they were. The Diamondbacks
Yep.
were tough last year. They made some moves to get better. The Padres were tough last year. I don't know if they made any moves to get better, but they at least for the most part stood pat, except for Scott. Thank you for that one, sending him up north. But and then the Giants. They're an improved team, and you know, I mean, in all of sports, and maybe I'm biased because I'm a Dodger fan, but in all of sports, the Dodger Giants rivalry is got to be a top three in all of sports, top three, top
It's
five.
got to be. It's got to be
I mean,
outside of the
Giants, Dodgers,
Yankees Red Sox.
Yankees, Red Sox. Those are the top two in MLB. And then if you start going even across all the other sports, I mean, maybe Dallas and Philly in football.
Maybe I would go more
maybe, maybe
Lakers.
our maybe our two teams in football, but we won't talk about them. But
Because we're both terrible.
yeah, but um, the Dodger Giants rivalry, and again, that's another one that goes back all the way to New York. So it's fun. And so as much as I hate the Giants, oh good, Detroit scored. They're up 3-2 now.
Yeah, 3-2. There you go.
Good.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's good stuff right there. It's good stuff.
But
So
I just look, if like I said, if you told me when we were talking before the Dodgers played 2 games in Japan against the Cubs that we'd have the record that we do and we'd be sitting a half game out of first, I'd have taken it at this point in the season. Especially when you start mixing in guys and their injuries that we've already been dealing with.
Tyler Glasnow.
Yep. Blake Snell, Evan Phillips in the bullpen has been on the
Blake Treinen.
Treinen has spent some time. Glasnow, luckily, it looks like he just had leg cramps. He's going to be fine. He's day. He'll probably make his next start, is what they're saying. So
Scott, if you were a betting man, I'm gonna refer to the next 8 games: 2 in Chicago, 3 at home against Pitt, 3 at home against Miami. What are you saying we're gonna go over these next 8 games?
All right. I'm gonna be kind of conservative. I'm gonna say we split with the Cubbies in Chicago. Okay. We win one, we lose one. I don't know which is which, but we win one, we lose one. Split with the Cubs, so we're okay. And then I think we come back home. I'm going to say that we lose 1 to the Pirates and sweep the Marlins.
Okay, so you're calling 5-3.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah. 5 and no, 6-2.
Oh, 6-2. Okay, my bad.
For those 8 games, 6-2, 6-2. We'll lose 1 to the Cubs, 1 to the Pirates. We'll win the rest.
Okay.
To finish out the month of April.
I like it. Knock on wood. Your lips to the baseball god's ears. I like it.
Let's do it.
I like it. Okay, so let's go into stats. So we want to kind of go through some stats, and I'm going to read off to you. We'll start with some basic stuff, and then we'll go through and tell me, where you surprised. Where are you surprised? Okay. Now, Shohei had 3 games off, right? We just talked about that. Congratulations, Shohei. But he and Tommy Edmonds are leading the club with 23 hits. Teo's got 20. Will Smith has got 19. Surprises there, Scott.
Will Smith's a little pleasant surprise. I think, especially being the catcher. You don't expect the catcher always to kind of come out hitting that way, but we'll take that. Tommy's a little, I don't know if Tommy's surprising. I guess it's a little bit. You didn't really expect him to be basically tied for first in hits for the Dodgers with that lineup that they have, but
the dude is
he was an underrated pickup, below the radar pickup for the Dodgers when they brought him in, and he's just performed. He's just a ball player, and I think that's what it boils down to with Tommy. He's just a baseball player, and he just wants to play baseball, and I love it.
The dude is like dripping wet, 130 pounds.
Right. What is he? 5'6", maybe, with his cleats on the cement.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but look, he knows how to swing a bat, and he's been good, and it's thank goodness, because a couple of the other guys like Max Muncy been scuffling. He's starting to look a little better, like I said. Kike Hernandez has been scuffling. Now, he's not a full timer But he's scuffling worse than I anticipated him doing.
Struggling
And
a bit.
you don't want to see anyone that's regularly in your starting lineup below the Mendoza line. That's one of the things that I cringe when I look at their stat lines.
Yeah.
Dodgers is we got a handful of guys that are not um they're just not hitting yet. And I
Yeah.
say yet because it's a long season and
100%.
it takes a while. So
100%. Okay, let's move over into the HR category. Tommy Tanks is leading the Dodgers.
okay,
Shohei's
that's
got
surprising.
6. Tommy's got 7. Teo's got 5.
Yeah.
Uh, do not tell me that you're not surprised that Tommy Tanks is leading
Oh,
the
I'm
Dodgers.
100% surprised Tommy's leading in that. And especially the way the season started, I'm surprised Mookie Betts isn't that guy because he looked like he was going to light the world on fire the first 3 games.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
and he's tailed off a little bit, but again, that's baseball. But yeah, Tommy hitting seven homers already, and Shohei with 6. That you expected him to be right up there, and he probably has
yeah,
at least 1 or 2 more if he plays in one of those in those 3 games that he missed.
yeah.
So, but yeah, Tommy with 7. That's and look, I love seeing Teskar with 5. 17. He's leading our team in RBIs.
Well, we're gonna get to that in a second.
Okay.
Don't jump the gun. Do not
Sorry.
yuck my
I'm
yum, Scotty.
excited. I like when we bring guys back and they do what we want them to do and they do what they did and why we brought them back.
Exactly,
Like it.
exactly.
I hate when we let a guy go and then he goes and hits 320 and 40 home runs. And I hate when we bring a guy back for a bunch of money and he basically just rests on his laurels.
So basically, you're saying that's pretty much all of the '90s and early 2000s for the Dodgers.
Yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
Watching
Yeah,
watching all their farm guys go other places like Gary Sheffield and win World Series with the Florida Marlins.
that and you watch guys like Todd Hollandsworth struggle
Yeah.
and then go someplace else and be lights
Yeah.
out. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Well, and then another one, and he didn't have a terrible Dodger career, but I don't know why I'm forgetting his name all of a sudden again. But the first baseman we traded for the Padres and paid him a boatload of money, and he just never really was what the Dodger wanted him to be.
You got me on that one. You got me on
I
that one. When I'm
you
thinking
know who
first
I'm
base,
talking about?
Adrian
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez.
Yes, Adrian Gonzalez. And I like Adrian, and he was a good Dodger, but he wasn't what we gave up for him and wasn't what we paid for him and what we took along with him in the trade to add to our roster. It just wasn't. It just didn't end up being a good one.
You mean Nick Punto wasn't like amazing? Like that wasn't like a Hall of Fame caliber kind of guy?
Let me check the stats page, but I think yeah.
Nick Punto. We love Nick Punto. Okay,
so it's good. So my point is, it's good to see a guy like Tesker that he was a free agent at the end of the year. We brought him back. We paid him a good amount of money. He did take less than he could have probably gotten a couple other places, but
he wanted to win.
And he's doing what we need him to do right now. I mean, I'd love his average to get up closer to 300, but can't argue with top 3 in hits and home runs.
Yeah, no, you can't argue with that. I mean, Teoscar's doing what Teoscar needs to do, and he's kind of one of those staples. I was nervous when we signed Blake Snell, and we'll talk about pitching in a second, but
Okay.
I was nervous when we signed Blake Snell because I didn't think that Blake. I figured he'd go on the IL. The guy historically throws a lot of pitches.
Right.
Historically, he throws a lot of pitches and usually only gets through 5 innings if he's good and if he's on, which is exactly what we saw in his first 2 starts. And now he's on the IL.
Yep.
Collecting money. I mean, I love that. I love that for him. Like that's the American dream, right?
Yep.
Get paid not to work.
Yep. It's like a meme I saw the other day. It says the worst thing about the job search is I don't even want one. So
well, before we get into RBIs and before we get into the pitching side of it, we want to thank our new corporate sponsor, Lang Roofing, out of Bell Gardens. Thank you so much for your sponsorship. We actually have shirts being made up that say Top Fan Rivalry and Lang Roofing. You're familiar with the Langs, Scott, I know.
yeah.
So
Love
that
that.
was an easy phone call. And we gotta talk about the 27 ounce club for a second. For those
Okay.
of you that are sports card collectors, you got to love this.
Even
You
if you're
gotta
not,
love this.
even if you're not, you can get addicted really easily. So come join us.
Yes, it's 27 ounce club is that you purchase a team, guarantee your team for $27, and in two of the club box breaks, you get your team guaranteed. And then after that, you get early access to all the other box breaks. Now, Scott, I think we have locked up what next week's club break is going to be, and there's also going to be something special with it. So
Ooh, I
I'm
like it.
actually pretty excited. We're going to lock and load it tomorrow.
Okay.
Once it's locked and loaded, I'll have to call you and tell you about it. But
I can't
I
wait.
can
I love,
guarantee you're going to love it. I
love it.
can guarantee you're going to love it. So
Sweet.
that being said, all right, here we go, Scott. Uh, RBIs, Teo 17, Tommy Tanks 15, Will Smith 13. The one that is of concern. Remember, Shohei's got 23 hits and
Right.
six home runs. He has got 8 RBIs. That means people are not getting on in front of him. Scott,
Yep. It's the
is this a problem?
bottom of our lineup. It will be a problem if it continues. Part of the reason I feel like it's not a problem is, yeah, he only has 8 RBI, but he scored 21 runs on
Mhm.
23 hits. So he basically only twice has he hit to get on base and not scored.
Yeah,
So I'm not what that mean, and what that means is the guys right behind him are hitting better than the bottom of the lineup, which you expect. But we need to figure it. We got to get some guys on base ahead of him. Because if the guy's leading the team in hits with 23, you got to have guys on base so you can
yeah.
score runs. Like if he's your best hitter, and I get he likes being the leadoff, and I guess that's where they've got him, and he's a great base runner. He 5 stolen bases, leads the team. So
Mhm.
um, I'd like to see all of those numbers higher for all of these guys on the stolen base side, but
Yeah, Scott,
yeah,
I'm like you. I don't care it's April. But if we get into deep into May, if we're talking 1 month from now,
yeah.
and he still has, he'll have 40,
Yeah,
45
still has
pitches.
half of what the leading guy has for
Yeah,
RBIs because he has the same number of RBIs as Kike Hernandez, who's hitting a buck 40.
yeah, yeah.
So
Um, Honestly, I would not mind. And this is just me, but tell me I'm wrong. And I don't second guess Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts is a future Hall of Fame manager.
for sure,
The guy, if
probably already a Hall of Fame manager with what he's done
yeah,
with probably.
yeah. If you look at his numbers, sometime next season, he'll cross the 1,000 win mark, 1,000 win threshold. So Dave Roberts has got a shot to get 2,000, 2,500 wins inside a Dodger uniform. We love him. We're always going to love him.
Right.
What do you think if I told you, here's the lineup? Batting first, Mookie Betts. Batting second, Freddie Freeman. Batting third, Shohei Ohtani.
I
What do you
I
think about that?
I feel I feel like Shoei's probably more valuable at the 3 spot. I do. Um, Anyone who's been a baseball fan for a long time knows the 3 spot too is traditionally your best hitter in the lineups spot. Like as far as just overall average, getting on base, and then
Mhm.
your number 4 guy is usually your big home run hitter. But number 3 is usually your guy that hits a lot because you're counting on Mookie or Freddie to get on base ahead of him, and then he's going to drive in a run. And I like that idea. I like that lineup. I don't know if we'll see it, but I like
I,
flopping that around a couple there.
I I know what Dave's thinking. Dave's thinking, hey, I want to go every other. Okay, then go every other. Then go and have Shohei bat number four. Have
Mm,
Teoscar bat three. Or Will Smith bat three.
yeah,
Uh, the argument for Shohei leading off is he's going to see a lot of good pitches because nobody wants to face Mookie and Freddie behind him.
yeah. And there's
The
a lot of
argument
that.
behind Shohei not leading off is, if Mookie and Freddie can get on, now you got Shohei that can do some damage. And
Yeah,
instead of 1-0 to start a game off, you can start it off 3-0.
right, right.
Tell me I'm wrong, sir.
I don't know. I look. It's we can all be armchair quarterbacks, like we said, but I like that lineup. I do. I like I like your best hitter hitting third.
Me too.
Do
Me
I
too.
and lead off Freddie Freeman.
That'd be a unique one, that's for sure.
A little bit,
But,
but if you're wanting to go left, right,
mhm.
you can
What
go that.
about Tanks leading off?
What's that?
What about Tanks leading off?
Tommy in the first spot. The way I mean, look what he's hitting. Look at his
I
average. Look
mean,
how many hits he
Tommy
has.
leads off. He's a switch hitter. You go Mookie, then Freddie, then Shohei, then Teoscar.
Yeah. Or you could go, um, I don't know. I mean, you could even have Freddie in the fourth spot. Or I don't know. I feel like they're yeah, I tend to agree with you, Bill. I know Shoei leads your team in stolen bases. I know he's a great base runner. I know you're going to get your leadoff guy on a lot, but I don't know. I just feel like with he's your best he's your second best for average hitter behind Will Smith, who's batting 339, by the way. Um, and he's your leading in hits, tied for the lead in walks. Right? He's got 83 at bats, and he's on base. He's on base 36 times. That's more than a third. So, you know, you're doing your on base percentage is almost 400. I just feel like I don't know, Bill. I don't know.
Yep.
I
No,
think
I
you
get it. I get
probably
it.
right. I mean, I'm sure we could go around and find reasons on both sides, but I kind of like the idea. Well, and look, that's the other thing. The baseball season is a long season, so try some things. It's okay to flip your lineup around, especially early in the season for 2 games against the Cubs. Flip your lineup around for 2 games. See if it changes something.
Yeah.
No.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Analytics,
I like that.
analytics, in my opinion, analytics only get you so far. There's got to be some gut. There's got to be some what your eyeballs are telling you, and you've got to mix things up, and you can't keep doing the exact same thing, hoping. And it's hard though, right? Because of where the Dodgers are at. They're half game out.
Mhm.
They won 16 games already. Like it's hard to argue with where they're at, but at the same time, it's like we as fans and we've watched, we can see, man, they probably should be closer to 20-3. In all honesty, I mean,
True. It's true.
oh, but
But I do think we'll get it wouldn't surprise me if we get to 30 wins before we get to 15 losses.
me either. Me either. I agree with that.
So, and even if you get to 15 losses and you're 30 and 15, that's still not bad. That's still a pretty good record.
Right.
So, um, okay, let's go to the bump.
Okay.
Obviously, Yami is leading the show. I mean, Anthony Banda's 3-0, but he's a relief pitcher.
Right.
So, out of the starters, you got Yami at 3-1, 29 innings pitched. He's leading the team with 29 innings pitched. Roki, 19.2 innings pitched. Tyler Glasnow and Dustin May with 17 innings pitched. What are you thinking about those four names I just mentioned?
We can keep those guys healthy. That's a pretty dang good 4-man rotation right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Yamamoto has looked. He has looked what we were hoping we were getting from him last year.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't bad last year, but he is looking pretty dominant. I mean, I know. I mean, an under 1 ERA through 4 games as a
Mm-hmm.
starter. That's yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Um,
ERA of 0.93
yeah,
in 29 innings.
yeah, yeah.
That's not what you want.
Your
That's
whips
what
under
they call
under
dominating.
your whip is under 1 as well. 0.86 is your whip.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what
you're
you
not
call
even giving up a
dominating.
block or a hit an inning. That is domination, even with the one loss.
Yeah.
So
No.
Sasaki is starting to show me something. The last couple of starts, he's starting to figure pitching in the big leagues a little bit better. Glasnow looked great until he had his leg cramp problems in his last start, and we'll get another good glimpse of Dustin May tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I mean those 4 guys right there, that's a great rotation for a 4-man rotation. Then you start throwing in, guys like Blake Snell on the injured list. Maybe Bobby Miller comes back. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Kershaw threw a great 3 inning start at Oklahoma City in the minors
He
to
did.
start his rehab getting back. So
He did.
that's a guy. Look, Kershaw's a guy. If he can stay healthy, that any team in the league would have him in their starting rotation.
He did.
So,
Yeah,
so
Kirsch did a really, really good job. And again, when you get Yami, or I'm sorry, when you get Shohei and Kershaw back, you're talking about maybe those guys maybe pitching a piece,
right,
maybe,
right,
but you're going to eat up a buck 70, buck 80, 200 innings between the two of them.
yeah.
So that's you got Tony G coming back at some
Yeah, see,
point.
that's another one that is a guy that can start for you. With Tony G. And look, it's just that we talked about this early. One of the things we liked about this seemingly extra roster was exactly what we're already dealing with. Guys like Blake Snell going on the injured list for more than like day to day, and that's why we're glad we had those, and it's a nice problem to have. And Yamamoto, like we've said, has stepped up to the plate, and pardon the pun, but he has, and he's done what we needed him to do with the yeah with the with the pitching staff, happening what it is. And you said it. Shohei's coming back too, probably June, July. Same with Kershaw. That's my guess is we'll probably see both of them. Probably Kershaw maybe a little before, based just because he already had a spot start, and Shohei's not even. They're not letting him pitch to batters yet. He's
Yeah.
thrown four of his pitches right now. But once he is able to throw all of his arsenal, then they'll start doing live batting practice, and then he'll probably get a rehab to start or two.
Yeah. He's
Oh man, here's the problem
yeah.
for him though. Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
So as you're trying to get Shohei back into your pitching staff and into your rotation, do you really want to send him away for a rehab start somewhere and not have his bat in your lineup?
So what I would do is I would look at the schedule and I would probably send him over to Rancho Cucamonga. I would probably keep him close.
Maybe find an off day for the Dodgers.
Hmm.
Cucamonga's playing, he can go pitch, not
Hmm.
not miss a game. That's the plan. That's the idea.
Yeah, I mean,
You
you
need to
don't.
call Dave Roberts. Call your boy Dave Roberts. Tell him that's what he needs to do.
Hold on, we'll get him in. Hey, boys, at the Top Gun Driver Sports says, can you get a hold of Dave Roberts? I got to tell him something.
Yeah,
Yeah, just give him a call right now.
yeah.
Scotty and I want to talk.
Put him on the show with us, even if he's
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
I know the game's just started, but have him go back in the clubhouse and.
Yeah, exactly. So but yeah, no, that's how I would roll it. I
I
would
like that.
probably have him, and I get the fact that when you're pitching against Quakes, uh, guys that the Quakes are facing, you're not pitching against MLB ready players, but
Right.
you're getting the feel of the atmosphere. The place will be sold out,
Right.
so you're getting the feel of the
Oh,
atmosphere. You're getting the feel of everything, right?
Static if they would be able to get something like that.
100%, 100%. Last stat before we get into a few things that I want to talk about. Strikeouts. Yamamoto 38, Glasnow 23. Glasnow's number 2. Here's what I want to point out. Yamamoto's got 29 innings and 36 or 38 strikeouts.
Yeah.
That means he's got
more than one inning.
More than one inning. He's averaging about 1.3, 1.4 an inning. Where TG is also the same thing, 17 innings, 23 strikeouts. Even more, he's averaging about 1.5 innings.
Right.
What does that tell us about these guys?
What it tells me is that they're pitching well, that they're on their game, that they're hitting their spots to get strike calls, and they're getting swings and misses. That's what that tells me. And for those two guys, that's something you want to see. That is part of the game that they need to be working for them, is being able to strike guys out. And good to see. And like I said, this last one, especially, I know he left a little early because of some cramps apparently, but Tyler's last start, really, he looked sharp and looked like
he did look good.
Glasnow we wanted, we were getting that we wanted. So yeah, what it tells me, and look, even Kirby Yates has 20 and 10 innings pitched. we're getting strikeouts as a pitching staff in general. That's a huge thing. You know, we're pitchers are striking out guys at least in every inning.
Yeah. Well, they're
Almost
hitting their
across the
spots.
board.
They're locating balls
Yep.
very, very well.
Yep.
They're doing things that they need to be doing, and getting these strikeouts early is huge, right?
Yep.
Is very, very huge. And now, for those of you, counting your chickens, so to speak, right? Please understand that since we pay attention so much now to amount of pitches, strikeout pitchers are going to throw more pitches in a game.
Mm-hmm.
Just everybody stop kung fu fighting, just relax. It's okay if Yami goes 108 pitches,
Yeah.
that's totally fine.
Fine. It's fine because
Right.
he's a strikeout type pitcher. You tend to have more pitch count, a higher pitch count when you are strikeout. Great example of that is Greg Maddux, who was not typically a strikeout pitcher. He was a pitch to contact, get him to ground out type of guy. And he's probably got the most complete games with under 100 pitches.
Well, and it's funny too, because
he's having 1-2 pitch at bats, where if you're striking a guy out, you at least have to have 3 pitches per at bat.
the great Hall of Famer Vin Scully called Fernando's no hitter in 1990. And
Yeah.
when Fernando went out for the ninth inning, he says Fernando's got 119 pitches, so he's got plenty in the tank. Nowadays, 119, we're looking at that going,
he's
the
gonna
sky's gonna fall.
he's gonna go on the injured list for 60 days after that many pitches.
I know. So I
look at this too. Go look at guys like Tom Seaver, like Nolan Ryan. Go look at their Bob Gibson way back when. Go look at their lines. I mean, geez, Nolan Ryan throw 200 pitches and then pitch again 3 days later, throw another 150.
100%. 100%. And like I've said 1,000 times before,
part of that's genetic. But part of that, and probably more than the genetics of that, is the way pitchers are handled nowadays compared to then.
So I can make an argument that besides for being genetic, it's how well they're conditioned and how much they pitch just getting to the show. Some guys are pitching 1,500 to 2,000 more innings than I ever did prior to it. And so your arm is wore down by the time you get there. But again, like I've said 1,000 times, Scott, I want to meet the pitching coach that walks out to the mound when freaking Nolan Ryan's out there and says, well, Express, it looks like you got about 109 pitches. This is going to be your last batter. Yeah. That dude's going to be looking at Nolan Ryan from the ground.
I'm sure a few expletives were thrown the way of that manager, and he was told to go sit down by Nolan. So,
yes.
It's knowing what we know about Mr. Ryan.
Like for Love of the Game with Kevin Costner. Where's my pat? But the manager's leaving. All right, here you go. Good game.
Awesome.
Those of you following the Tigers are taking it to the Padres, and they got into the bullpen early. So in the bottom of the third, they got into the bullpen, which it's a 3-game series. So that is big for the Padres. Now,
phone died. So my phone died. So
there you go. Yeah, it's 6-2.
Okay, 4-2 when it died.
6-2, bottom of the third. Yeah. For those of you listening on, there you go. For those of you listening on Bleacher Brothers Sports Network, we appreciate you. But Scott and I do this thing, relatively live. So this is actually a kind of a fun gig. And so, it's kind of like a squirrel.
Yeah.
Squirrel.
Oh, for me,
right?
My ADD kicks in all the time. So, and then to get enough sunlight on my face so I don't look like I'm in a cave, I have to open the window, and then I get distracted when people walk by animals.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Okay, before I get on to some questions, what I'm going to call rapid fire Dodger questions. Before I get to that, let's talk about that box break and the 27-ounce club again. Scott, this is a thing, right? We started this to save people some money. If you're a collector out there, for $27, you can guarantee your team, right? We have 13 teams done in the 27-ounce club, so those are gone, right? You got 17 teams to choose from, some great teams left over to choose from. You get priority shipping, which usually we ship them out once or twice a month. We try to hold on to them so you're not getting all excited about a package coming and there's 3 freaking cards in there, right? So we got that. You get your team, you get a $5 off coupon every month, and you get an addition to that $5 off coupon, and you get early releases with the new box breaks.
Yeah.
Scott, tell me,
The
you're a member of
non-club.
it. You have two teams. Tell me
Yes,
how much you love it.
I love it. And get two teams because you get a slight discount if you get
Yep.
two teams. And then you've got two teams you're looking for when we do the box breaks. And then also Bill mentioned the early access to the other breaks that are not part of the 27 ounce club. I mean, they are, but you don't have your team guaranteed. But because you already are part of the club, you get early access to pick those teams on that next one. And
Yeah.
so even without being guaranteed for the box, we've got one tonight that's not the 27 club, but I got early access and I got my Dodgers and I got the Pirates and the Phillies and the Cincinnati Reds. And
And the
so,
Cincinnati Reds. I was just gonna say, yeah, the Reds. Yeah.
so go. And I believe I have the Dodgers and Pirates in the 20
Yes. Yes,
club.
you do in the 27 ounce club.
But I believe the Phillies and Reds are both available still in the
Phillies
27.
and Reds are still both available
So if
in the
you're a Reds
27 ounce
fan,
club.
you're a Phillies fan, you like Bryce Harper, you like Trey Turner,
Mhm.
I look, part of the reason I got the Reds is because they're a couple years old a lot when we do the box breaks, and I get Joey Votto cards. I love Joey Votto.
There you go. And
Anyway,
yeah,
come
and
join us.
trust me,
It's a blast. We broadcast it live, the box breaks through social media, and we get a bunch of us on there watching and commenting and sending little emojis, and it's a lot of fun. We've seen some really cool cards pulled. Signed Dennis Eckersley card a few weeks ago. Come join us. It's a lot of fun.
so Scott, did you see in the 27 ounce club, did you see my Bill Odamas moment?
I don't know if I did.
So literally, I'm thinking of Liz out there in Toronto, right?
Yep.
Out up in Canada, and we're, I don't know, three or four packs into it. I said, man, we got to pull a Vladdy, right?
Oh,
Literally, Amber opens the next pack.
right.
She pulls a Vladimir Guerrero refractor number. I'm like,
That's right.
be here till Wednesday. Tip the waitress, everybody. Like this was amazing.
Nostradamus Bill right there.
Yes, just call me Bill Odamas. So,
Bill
all right,
Adamas.
all
No,
right. So
come join us. It's a lot. We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun.
exactly. Okay, so Scott, let's do some rapid fire Dodger stuff.
Okay.
Okay, let's first start with the Hall.
Okay.
Okay, just rapid fire. Uh, do these individuals belong in the Hall?
No.
Now, usually on Dodger Update with Scott and Bill, we don't do these things, but you know what? This week we're going to do it. We
Yeah,
might
why
even
not?
throw a different segment every now and again. Who knows? We
You like
we
it.
can do whatever we want. It's our show,
Well,
right?
and
Hello,
look,
Bleacher
look,
Brothers. You're going to love us.
Glenn, look, it's Dodgers talk, but we just love baseball. We
There
love
you
the
go.
Dodgers. We absolutely love the Dodgers, but we love baseball. So it's
Okay,
fine.
the Hall. Steve Garvey.
I think he should be, yes. I think he should have been in the Hall a long time ago.
Me too. Me too. Dusty
Uh,
Baker.
yes, I think Dusty Baker deserves to be in as a manager, for sure. I'm assuming that's what you mean because
Yeah.
his playing career was okay, but probably not Hall of Fame. But manager, absolutely. Taken
Okay.
several different teams to the World Series. He's won a couple World Series, and uh, I've met him, and he's an awesome man. So
Okay.
what else? What else can you
Bert
say?
Hooton.
Yeah, even without that, like I just pure stats wise as a manager, unequivocally he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay. Bert Hooton.
Bert Hooton, man, that's borderline. That's a coin toss for me.
All very good, huh?
Yeah, maybe the Hall of Fame. I don't know. That one's hard. That one's hard.
That one is hard. That one is hard.
That one's
As
hard.
a manager, Mike Scioscia
Yes, I
Yeah.
think so. He did a
taking
lot.
the Angels to the first World Series. Yeah.
First World Series they ever went to and won, and um, that was a good team. Though a
It's a
lot
very
of
good team.
he was the manager.
That was a very good team.
I remember
That was a very good team.
my brother and sister being huge Yankees fans, and they hated the Angels because they had the Yankees numbers during those years. I don't know what it was, but Mike Scioscia knew how to beat the Yankees. Beat him in the playoffs a couple times. Would beat him up in the. It was funny. Just as a side, we go to the games and they throw up their stats, right? These guys' stats on the scoreboard, and then they
Yeah.
show their normal stats. Here's what they do against the Yankees. I swear during that stretch, we went to several games at Angel Stadium. I swear those Angel teams were batting 100 points higher against the Yankees than their normal average. Like it was just something about it. But yeah, Mike, sorry to go long winded
No,
on that.
no, you're good.
Mike,
You're good. So one
Mike,
of the things that I will say about the O2 Angel team that Mike Schuster managed was it didn't matter how many runs these guys were down. They figured out a way to. I mean, I can remember a couple of
mm-hmm.
games where they were down 6 and 7 runs in the third inning, and we're figuring out ways to win.
Yep.
So
A lot of teams, you get 3, 4 innings into a game and you're down 5, 6 runs. You kind of hang it up and say, you know what, we'll get them tomorrow.
yeah,
Finish the game, and but that you're right. That Angels team was
Troy
phenomenal. And
Gloss, Adam Kennedy,
Barry Bonds doesn't have a World Series ring,
yes.
so that was the year.
Someplace we were singing "God Bless America," but whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
well, and if you're not going to dive for a little bloop fly ball in left field in the World Series, then when are you going to dive for the ball, Barry?
yeah, exactly,
Anyway,
exactly. All right,
yeah.
so
Okay, Sosha, yes, as a
so
manager.
okay, so there's your Hall. There we got. Here's one that I'm going to classify as Hall of very good.
Okay,
You may disagree with me. You may put him in the Hall. Eric
okay.
Karros.
Very good too. I love Eric Karros. He's still, by the way, the leading home run hitter for the Dodgers. That's going to go away very soon for his career. But yeah, very good. Just never. I don't know if he quite did enough to be a Hall of Famer. Love Eric Karros, but yeah, I that one I'm not going to argue with you. I agree. Hall very good.
Hall of very good. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, I agree.
Most people, and especially one of the things I would say for Eric is most people who aren't Dodgers fans know nothing about him.
Hmm.
And most of
Well,
the guys that are in the Hall of Fame, most average baseball fan at least knows who you are. And I
right.
don't know that Eric would fall into that category.
No, Eric
Love
was
him.
a good.
Great. He's a Hall of Fame Dodger, I will say that,
Yeah,
but not as far as big league baseball.
not as far as the whole thing. No, I
Yeah.
agree with you. I agree with you. Okay. Final one, Hall of very good. Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Uh, this guy, this guy only played for the Dodgers for a couple of seasons, but he was an offensive threat. He hit a home run to send us to the playoffs. Mr. Steve Finley. Hall of
I
very
knew
good,
when
Hall of
you
Fame.
said that. I knew when you said he hit a home run to send us to the playoffs. I knew exactly who you were talking about. And
Right.
man, he is another hard one because, and I think he's probably in that same category as Eric Karros. Hall of very good. He did a ton for the Dodgers in the short time he played, but I, I, I don't know if the average fan is knowing who Steve just by name. Like you'd have to
Yeah.
do
I
too
mean,
much.
here's what's interesting, Scott. 2,548 hits, um,
Wow.
which is amazing, right? It's almost 2,600
Yeah.
hits, 304 home runs, 320 stolen bases, lifetime batting average of 271. So if you're talking about being on the cusp, that to me is as good as you're going to get as far as being on the cusp.
That is the border types of numbers. I agree.
Yeah,
I watched that home
100,
run. The Giants.
100%. 100%. Okay, we've discussed Hall of Fame. Now, let's talk one time, and we might be losing Scott here. We're having a little bit of technical issues, but Scott, are you okay? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear being chopped.
Yeah,
Can
we're
you
we're
hear
having
me?
a little bit of technical issues, but here's the next thing I'm going to ask Scott when he comes back on. I'm going to ask him about a favorite Dodger memory to wrap this show up. We've given you statistics, we've given you standings, we've given you Hall of Fame versus Hall of Very Good. We've given you the next 8 games. So now let's talk about one favorite Dodger memory in which you witnessed. Ready, go.
The what was the question? Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
what's one of your favorite Dodger memories that you witnessed in person?
perfect game once with my daughter.
Mhm.
And that was game 2 of the World Series. But that's the best baseball game I've ever. Um,
Yeah, that game was pretty amazing, everybody. When Justin Turner got a base hit to drive in a run, that literally I've been in that stadium probably 300-400 times in my life. I've never seen it shake like that. And it shook and it was insane.
is
So yeah, that was probably it's probably one of my most favorite Dodger memories too.
a lot.
We're having a little bit of technical difficulties with Scott. Um, we're having a little technical difficulties. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see what we're referring to. If you're listening to this on Bleacher Brothers Radio Network, we apologize. Hopefully, you were able to catch the gist of what we were talking about. And we'll definitely continue this conversation. We do this every other week with Scott and I. We break it down as best as we can. We give you as much Dodger info. We appreciate AJ over at Bleacher Brothers Radio Network for putting us up. We get excited about that. That's a lot of fun. So, Scott, I sure do appreciate everything and you being on. And let's do it again. Let's do it again in 2 weeks. Have a good one, all.